I had a very interesting conversation with Tom Pasquale when I brought him over here today. He can't drive right now. So I'm going to introduce CC Tom Pasquale. CC is actually his name, it's not Tom. Tom Pasquale.
I'm not accustomed to speaking in public. Yeah. Do we have any bald eagles here? Listen, for the females, I have a question for you. Do you know what they call a cow that just had a calf? Does anybody know?
Decaffeinated.
Decaffeinated. It's true. You know, I had the pleasure, I'm not as old as this Jack Tolbert, but I worked with him in the office back in 1959. I put 64 years in total flying time and 46 years with American Airlines. So I'm catching on. And I want to just recite something to you. Because you know I all got involved with Flight Manual Part 1. It was the night before printing of our Flight Manual Part 1 that the sneers and the snickers all too soon had begun. The pilots and crew who waited with joy for the tools that they needed for years, oh boy. Bring on the confusing skullduggery our way. We'll solve our problems quickly and we'll be on our way. American will prosper in every way. Since he started the task with scissor and glue, changing, rearranging, and throwing out too, Casey and Crandall and Carty too could not have been better to depict you. So I told him, lend me an ear, someday let's sit down with some pretzels and beer, and to tell you the truth, I had a ball. It took me 4 years to write Flight Manual Part 1, and I never took it home. And it was only 8.5 by 11 to start with. It had 8 chapters, and by the time I got done, it had 20 chapters. And Bud Eamon, he says to me, Thomas, I says, you hate this book with a passion. Now, Bud Eamon was our Vice President of Flight. And he says, yeah, can't find a damn thing in here. For instance, turns after takeoff in the old manual. Where would you find it? Under administration. Where else? So he says, I picked me a partner who's both smart and fun. The name you say is Captain Mel Henderson. There were 7 groups writing this manual. 7 people, 7 different groups. And they all wanted to have their say. And see, I learned my trade from Harry Clark. And this, no good over here, this little guy. And also this Cecil of you. Cecil of you, is that your name? Yeah. Anyway, and I did all the work. They got all the credit, which was nice. So when you get into, they said, I get a call one day, and it's one of the chief pilots. He says, Thomas, we've got a captain here who thinks that his stuff is ice cream. He says, you need to talk to him. and see if you can't get to him, because we can't. So I wrote this nice poem for him. This is what a captain ain't. I also wrote, this is what a captain is. But I want to do the ain't. It says, I am the captain, I am the one. You can see where this is going already. And through trial and error, I'll get the job done. And when advice is given, I will listen to none. What can you tell me, Junior, that I haven't heard? I flew before Lindbergh, what haven't you heard? I visit the cabin, bragging and showing, informing the passengers which way we're going. I yell at the mechanics, I yell at the steward, and if I had a few minutes, I yell at you too. I am the big boy, I disrupt every class. I am the captain that you want to knock right on his ass. He comes into the office. I demand this and that, and I want it now. I says, come here, Captain. I got something for you. Pow, pow, pow. I never shared a flying. I carry the load. I don't trust you, Junior. Just do as you're told. Rules and regulations were made for jerks like you. Trust me, kiddo. I'll take care of you. So just, come here. You act like a fool. You act like a clown. You never praise anyone. All you do is knock them down. Change, old captain. Prevent your great fall. Our lives will be simpler and safer for all. American will prosper. The pilots will too. And if you refuse, I'm going to plant petunias on you. Now, and that goes just for little old you. Now, get out. And that was the end of the poem. Fantastic. So this is all kinds of fun. I wouldn't bore you over here with all the good poems that we have stuck in my head. But I want to thank you for the invitation and meeting all y'all. And if anybody needs to, they still call me. My nephew, who's a Navy pilot, P3, he was on sub-chasing mission, and he calls me and tells me, he says, Uncle Tom, you're not going to believe this. What's that? He says, we're out in the ocean over the Pacific, and American calls pan, pan, pan. They lost the flight instrument system. He says, and so they had to get off of the tracks. So he says, hey, American, follow me, and I'll take you to your ETOPS. And he said, by the way, do you know my Uncle Tom? Who's your Uncle Tom? Tom Pasquale. Oh, anyway, they went back and forth over the Pacific. And he says, by the way, do you know what ETOPS stand for? Do you know what ETOPS stand for?
Interest earned or passed or swim.
That's right. It's ETOPS, not the equal time point. See, my ETOPS is engines turn or pilots swim. ETOPS. Anyway, I want to thank you all, and to be in this company. I got one more thing. This Cecil of Yule, yeah, when he retired, I wrote this poem for him. So I have a picture of Cecil, and I have a picture of the poem side by side. And what he went through hell, let me tell you. It says, Bon voyage, mon ami Cecil. You are a giant in the industry, a leader of men, vice president of flight, and of course my good friend. You changed the airline from stem to stern. You did not realize when you took the job on the times you would get burned. But together with your wife Rhoda, you survived the buffets and went on to win. You were never diplomatic, but you were always true blue. You were fair, you were kind, you were right to the point. You could calm the troubled waters, or man, you could tear down the joint. When you meet our Creator, He will smile and say, "Come in, my son Cecil, drink deep from the well. Rest, faithful servant, you spent enough time in hell." Call me if you need me. And by the way, I just got a call from Hawaii yesterday. And he says, "Thomas, I just understand it. You had some problems." Yeah. He says, "But I always wanted you to know, I still remember, your hearing will improve at your hearing."
That's it. Well, that concludes the program. The good news is, though, this is a bar, and at 2 o'clock it turns into a bar, and we're welcome to stay and social for the rest of the time. There's no rush to leave, and stick around as long as you want. I'm just amazed at the turnout today, and it's obviously due to this table right here. And I just want to, I think, give them one final round of applause. Thank you all very much.